External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar on Wednesday highlighted India's strong strategic ties with Israel, stating that it has consistently supported India during military conflicts and remains a reliable source of defense technology. Speaking at an all-party meeting, Jaishankar also underlined that India continues to maintain friendly relations with Iran, pointing to Tehran's decision to allow the passage of 4 Indian ships through the Strait of Hormuz. His remarks came in response to a query raised by Supriya Sule regarding the benefits of India's ties with the United States and Israel. At the all-party meeting, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said that while the United States remains one of India's largest trading partners and a major source of high-end technology, Israel is a key technological ally that has supported India during military conflicts. According to sources, although the minister did not elaborate, his remarks were seen as a reference to Israel's swift assistance during past confrontations with Pakistan. The statement highlights India's effort to maintain a strategic balance in its global partnerships across defense, trade, and technology sectors. While Israeli assistance to India has long been known, sources said this was the first time External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar acknowledged it in an in-camera meeting. His remarks came amid opposition concerns over a perceived tilt in India's foreign policy towards the United States and Israel. Addressing these concerns, Jaishankar rejected claims that India had remained silent on the assassination of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei or delayed offering condolences. He maintained that India's approach continues to be balanced, underlining the country's effort to manage complex geopolitical relationships while safeguarding its strategic interests. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri signed the condolence book for Ayatollah Ali Khamenei on the very day it was opened, rejecting claims of any delay. He also dismissed suggestions that India's decision not to condemn the attack on Iran had hurt bilateral ties. The minister noted that the government had to factor in strong reactions from countries like the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia, where Iranian drone and missile strikes had triggered outrage. He added that over 8 million Indians live and work in these nations, making their safety a key concern. Highlighting India's engagement with Iran, Jaishankar said Tehran had appreciated India's role in assisting its naval vessel IRS Lavan, which was allowed to anchor at Kochi port amid rising tensions in the Indian Ocean. He noted that another Iranian ship, IRS Dana, could have avoided destruction had it accepted India's offer of safe harbor instead of moving into international waters where it was reportedly hit by a US submarine. Officials also pointed out that Iran had permitted 4 Indian ships to pass through the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz, with 5 more vessels expected to follow, reflecting continued cooperation despite the ongoing conflict. Meanwhile, Reuven Azar, Israel's ambassador to India, warned that escalating threats from Iran could endanger nearly 10 million Indians living across the Gulf region and further destabilize West Asia. Speaking on the ongoing conflict, he said India is actively working to safeguard its interests and welcomed its continued engagement, even as he acknowledged the limitations of diplomacy in influencing Iran's actions.
The region would undermine the lives of 10 million Indians that are living in the Gulf region, and more importantly, they would undermine the great plans that we all have together with India to make West Asia an area that is attractive for investment, that is stable. Well, India is doing whatever it needs. I think it will stay active. We welcome that. We know that it is not easy to influence a country as radical as the Iranian regime in Iran. We've been trying diplomacy for many, many decades. Unfortunately, it didn't go very well. And we found ourselves in a situation we are now, in which we have to take action after decades of aggression of this regime against us and against other countries in the region. So I hope that eventually, when they had enough, this regime will re-engage in diplomacy and will cooperate with the requirements that are needed in order to restore stability in our region.
Are you also in touch with the Indian side regarding the safety of Indians who are in Israel? Because we know there are a lot of construction.
Absolutely, yes. Of course, we are keeping very well the entire population of Israel, including those who are not citizens of Israel, that are guest workers. And we will continue to do so. We are in very good touch with the embassy in Israel, and very attentive to any disruption. Well, we've been having conversations at the top level, both of our Prime Minister and our Minister of Foreign Affairs. They've been updating the Indian government on, of course, the aims of this operation, about the situation of the operation. And, you know, I'm sure that India is doing whatever it needs in order to meet its own interest. But, you know, the bottom line from our perspective is that once we have achieved the removal of these terrible threats that were looming over the West Asia from Iran, a radical Islamic theocratic country that was pursuing a nuclear arsenal and also building tens of thousands of ballistic missiles and hundreds of thousands of drones, that plan would undermine the stability of the region, would undermine the lives of 10 million Indians that are living in the Gulf region, and more importantly, they would undermine the great plans that we all have together with India to make West Asia an area that is attractive for investment, that is stable, that can actually engage in projects of connectivity, especially since India has signed so many trade agreements that are going to increase the number of transactions and of merchandise that is going to move east and west. So I think that there's a lot to gain from the change in conduct of this regime.
Since you're going to ask about the IMEC corridor, given this conflict, what's in for Israel and India when it's come to the IMEC? Because it was announced during the 2023 G20 presidency. What's in here?
Well, any economic project has to lie on very solid security foundations and political foundations. I think that once we will be able to solve this situation in which the area is so threatened by a radical regime, we will have consolidated the security regime that we need in order to have a solid security foundation. Then it will be much easier to get into political agreement, and then the economic dimension will come very fast. So we cannot fantasize that in an area that is constantly threatened by disruptive and malign forces like the Iranian regime that is invading other Arab countries, that is trying to destroy a country in the region like Israel, that under those circumstances we'll be able to do economic projects because investors will not come to a region that is threatened in such a way. So I think that what we are doing now is going to remove this obstacle and give us a chance to build the foundations that we need to have economic projects.
Mr. Modi also called any obstruction in the Strait of Hormuz as unacceptable. How serious is the risk of disruption, and what steps is Israel taking to prevent escalation, which is affecting global shipping? Well,
the situation in the Straits of Hormuz derives only from the fact that the Iranian regime has decided to try to terrorize the world and to extort concessions from the United States by trying to hurt other countries that they are supposed to be their friends. Okay? So they have been attacking the Gulf countries massively, and they have been disrupting international trade for no reason whatsoever. So I think it's very important that the world unites, not only in condemning what the regime has been doing, because that already happened with the UN Security Council resolution that was adopted a few days back, but I think now there is a new initiative of a new UN Security Council resolution that would actually give an Article 7 mandate to an international force to make sure that the straits keep open. So I think that it's a very important thing. I hope that the resolution will be adopted without any objection, and that the world will actually get what they need in order to restore trade and restore stability.